Dear children, we see a variety of organisms in our surroundings. What are variations? Do you know what are variations? How living things differ with each other? What is biodiversity? What is the need of classification? Today we are going to learn the prerequisites for the topic diversity in living organisms and classification of 9th grade. Children, in our surroundings, there are a variety of living things we can find like plants, animals, birds, insects and so many microorganisms. But all of them are not alike. We find a variety of differences among them. Look at this picture. There are a variety of plants we can find in this image. All the plants are not alike. We find so many differences among them. Some plants are small, some plants are big, some are tall, like that. How plants differ with each other? What are the variations seen in plants? Is there any variations in a single species? How can we appreciate the diversity in plants? Now let us see. See here, for example, if you take two different plants like mango and palm tree, what are the differences we can find in these two types of plants? When mango plant is compared to the palm tree, it has difference in their roots, stem, leaves and branches and fruits also. So all these mango and palm trees are not alike. They are having some differences. Even if we take a single mango plant or mango species, we find so many differences. We find a variety of mangoes. All the mangoes are not alike. They differ in shape, size and color also. See here, there are different varieties of leaves. All these leaves are not alike. They are different in their shape, size, etc. Look at this picture. In this picture, we are finding different varieties of flowers. Are all the flowers are alike? They are not alike. They are different. They differ in their color, in shape, in size also. In the same way, every species has different characters when compared to others. When we come to the animals, how animals differ with each other? What are the variations seen in animals? Is there any variations in a single species? How can we appreciate the diversity in animals? Now let us see. Children, look at this picture. An elephant and a dog. Two different animals are there. In these two different animals, we find a lot of differences. Both are not alike. They differ in their body structure, they differ in their size, they differ in their shape also. Likewise, their mouth parts also differs. Now, let us compare a single species. Here, two different dogs are there. It can be observed that some characters are different in these two dogs. Within a single species also, we are finding some differences. Some species are restricted to a particular geographical location or a particular country. Here you can observe here kangaroo from Australia, kiwi from New Zealand. These two species are restricted to those countries only. In this way, Indian peacock is restricted to our country. Such animals are called as endemic species. When we come to the human beings, millions of humans on earth are not identical to each other except a few twins. They all have different facial features. We can differentiate them as Chinese, Africans, Europeans, like that. So now, you may have an idea about the variations among the species. So all these differences or variations leads to the biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Biodiversity is the variety of living organisms on earth, includes plants, animals and microorganisms. But nowadays, this biodiversity is getting damaged. Who is responsible for this damage? Extensive deforestation and pollution are causing severe damage to the biodiversity, leading to the loss of valuable plants and animal species. We don't know the value of many of the plant and animal species. Before knowing their value, They have disappeared from the earth. Human beings are causing damage to the biodiversity. So many species are vanished from the earth before knowing their importance. The species which are vanished from the earth forever are called extinct species. Here, what is this image? This is nothing but dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were found once upon a time on the land, on the earth planet. But now there is no dinosaur. Why? What happened to these animals? They have completely vanished from the earth. Okay. So, due to the damage to the biodiversity, a valuable species has lost. Not only dinosaurs, but we can find so many valuable species which have completely vanished from the earth in the recent years because of our activities only. The organisms once lived in a large numbers on the earth, but now they are declining rapidly. Such organisms are called as endangered species. Blue jay ray, vulture are examples of our state. Not only these two birds, I have taken the examples of two birds which belongs to our state. There are so many species which are now endangered throughout the world. In our country and in the world also there are so many species which are endangered. That means these species number is decreasing very much rapidly day by day. If it continues, these species also becomes as extinct species in the future. So, the existence of biodiversity in nature teaches us that every plant and animal, whether useful or not, has right to exist on the earth. Every organism is a part of our ecosystem. Loss of any organisms affect the food chain and food web of that ecosystem, which has impact on the survival of other organisms. So, it is very important to conserve this biodiversity because each and every organism is interdependent upon other and they are having strong relationships among them. If any organism is damaged, the others will be affected. Biodiversity and its conservation. What we have to do to conserve our biodiversity? Measures have been started to prevent loss of biodiversity and efforts are going towards its conservation. Government of India has taken initiative to conserve wildlife by making national parks and sanctuaries. Already, some of the forests were declared as reserve forests to conserve flora and fauna. So, it is clear that our earth planet has a wide range of biodiversity with millions of species. How to identify and study these species? Scientists made classification of organisms to study about them in an easy way so that we can conserve the species. Why do we need classification? Too many species to remember individually. We can't remember all the species individually. So, classification is essential to identify and remember all the species present on the earth. Classification helps in easy identification also. By the help of classification, we can find out the characteristic features of the species which belongs to the single family or which belongs to certain phylum. Classification shows similarities and differences among the species belongs to a certain phylum or belongs to one phylum. To understand the relationship among the organisms, classification is essential. Classification also helps to understand about the evolution process. We know that organisms have been evolved from one to another. To understand the relationship in this evaluation, to understand the link between this evaluation, classification plays an important role. So, what is the basis of this classification? Scientist has considered certain things for classification. For example, cell type. That means the organisms are having, whether they are having prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. So, that is one of the point to consider while classification. And number of cells, whether the organism is having single cell or it is a unicellular organism or it is a multicellular organism. So, depends upon the number of cells in the body of the living organism, classification has made. And at the same way, mode of nutrition also plays an important role in classification. Mode of nutrition here, whether the organism is autotroph or heterotroph. This is also taken into consideration by the scientists for classification. So, these are few points which have been considered for classification. Along with these 3 points, there are so many other aspects are there which have been taken into consideration in the modern classification system. If we look at the highlights of classification, in the early classification system which was started by Aristotle, he classified the animals based on habitat in which they are living, whether it is a terrestrial habitat or aquatic habitat, whether it is a terrestrial animal or aquatic animal. But later on, it was continued by so many scientists, among them Carolus von Linnaeus proposed 2 kingdoms, one is Vegetabilia and Animalia. So, all the plants are grouped under Vegetabilia and all the animals are grouped under Animalia by Carolus von Linnaeus. But modern classification system which is proposed by Whittaker, 5 kingdoms. Whittaker proposed 5 kingdoms in modern classification system. So, they are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Up to Whittaker only classification has not stopped, but it was later on continued by so many scientists. So, we will study about that classification in the chapter Diversity in Living Organisms very detailedly. Why do we need a universal naming system? We call a particular species in our locality with one name, and when we go to another state, it has been called with another name. In the same way, when we go to another country, they call it with another name. So, when we move from one place to another place, a single species is recognized or called with different names. So, it becomes very much difficult to learn all those names and to remember also. So, scientists proposed a universal single naming system. To avoid confusion and give clarity, scientists proposed scientific names to the species. Carolus von Linnaeus introduced binomial nomenclature. In this binomial nomenclature, single species has given 2 names. So, this binomial nomenclature is following throughout the world to identify a single species with a single name. Children, think and discuss. What is biodiversity? Give an example from your surroundings. Why is biodiversity important for maintaining balance in ecosystem? List any 3 human activities that are causing damage to biodiversity. Give 2 reasons why classification of living organisms became necessary. Thank you.